everyone. I'm Elena Swanson, and I'm here live with Miss Brittany Boote, and we're here to talk to you today about joy and the things in our life that bring us joy and share that joy with you. So this is just going to be like a free-form conversation. If anybody chimes in and has any questions, you can type them in the comment thread, and we'll try to get to them before we close out today. But let's just jump right in.
Hi.
Hi. There are so many aspects of my life that equate to joy, and I'm sure that you can relate, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this with you.
Yes.
So is there anything, or can we name a couple of things that just really genuinely bring you joy in your day-to-day life or life in general?
I think the big stuff obviously plays a lot into your long-term happiness, joy. Finding your little place in the world, that was a big one for me. Finding people around you that you can connect with and relate to and you feel like yourself with, I think that's a big one. Family, all those kind of big moments, with family and things like that. And then just the small things, all the little things every day that kind of play into that. I feel like you have to make every little decision can kind of contribute to your happiness. How you decide to be every day, how you decide to handle situations, how you decide to interact with people, and how you decide to put your joy and energy back into the world. I think that all matters.
Yeah, it's like a conscious choice every day.
Yeah, and then it just becomes natural.
And a practice.
Yeah. So it's not like you wake up every day. It's not like I wake up every day I'm going to be so happy today.
No.
But I wake up every day thinking about how I'm going to handle something or something that, that I was thinking about last night when I went to sleep. I do a lot of that. I do a lot of reflecting at night when I go to sleep and throughout the day. I think that's big too. I feel like it's all a matter of how you approach every single thing in your life, especially people in it. Yeah.
It's a moment by moment thing of just staying present and really consciously being aware of those things that bring you joy. But you said something initially in your opening statement. The thing that brought you joy was you found your place in the world. Can you tell us about that place?
I feel like it's something that everyone finds eventually, and it's just the way that I think I found it. Someone had said to me one time, I was so upset about something and crying and just being sad, and someone was like, you're gonna be fine as long as you're always yourself. And that always stuck. And I was young at that point when I heard that, and I was like, that's true, as long as I'm always myself and honest and making decisions that I could live with, then I'm going to be fine. So I feel like all of those little things, the little paths that I took and learned more about myself and learned, oh, this isn't for me, or I shouldn't be here, or, all those little things growing up, especially in your late teens and early 20s that you go through. But you're glad you did.
Yeah.
And then I think that has a lot to do with it. And then there'll be times now where I feel like I found that place that I'm I walk away from something, or I walk away from a conversation, or I walk out of the studio and I just have this wave of, whoa, I'm here, all these things I wanted, and I'm so I'm so I just remember every day that I have everything I could ever imagine wanting. It's not about it was never about
better than sometimes I imagine it. Remembering to remember. That was a good thing.
Yeah, remembering to remember that you're happy and everything you have that you've wanted. I feel like people have a tendency to want something and then they get it and then they're okay, see, I have that, but it's not with that way. It's I want something and then I'm how can I contribute more to this dream or this goal or this life? It's not I get unhappy. I just get more motivated to find other ways to make myself happy and other people happy. I think a big part of what I do as my job, it makes me so happy because it's making other people happy. So I don't know. I think that all kind of plays into it.
Right. The happiness factor is something it's something like you were talking about, like, yeah, that made me happy, but how do I sustain that? Like, oh, I applied for this job, I got the job, and I'm really happy about it. But like, that's just a fleeting moment. The joy is what comes from the actual work that you're doing, the happiness, you know, the making other people happy. That's the like sustainable joy in that. Like, oh, I have an appointment today and I'm really excited about it. And you see that person, like they come and they have that, like, I got my hair cut, you know, and it made me really happy. But then you have to go get it cut again there. And then, like, no, today doesn't look so great. But like the moment that I had, my mom's my hairdresser. So like the moment that I had with my mom doing my hair, that's the joy of it. Like that's the difference between the happiness. Yeah. The joy is the experience and not so much the fleeting moment of happiness.
Of like having a cupcake.
Because that like, made me happy, but like
I'm gonna try to share this for you. So we could have people tune in on my Facebook too. I think a lot also has to do with the people around you. Mm-hmm. I think being around people that have like not even that they have a similar mentality. They don't have to be like you or like things that you like, but they have to accept you and like embrace your energy and yourself and who you are and who you want to be. Right. That's really what it is. It's like who you want to be. But have people around you that like will help you get to the next place in your life. Mm-hmm. You know,
I was actually talking about that the other day. Is that like in a similar context? Is that I don't really care what people think of me. Like people's opinions don't contribute or negate from my happiness. But something that does affect my happiness or joy is when I feel misunderstood. So it's like being with somebody like you that we can have this conversation and we're understood. That's really, I feel like that's like a sustainable joy. And it goes back to what you were saying about like just being yourself, you know, you have to just really be comfortable in yourself and really be able to put that like if this person doesn't understand me, I've done all I could do.
Yeah. You hit a wall.
Yes. Yeah. And knowing when to like separate yourself from that. But that's a good, I feel like that's good advice in general. Just be yourself. That was a really great thing.
I think a lot of joy comes from that.
Absolutely.
Because the journey of learning who you are and like getting closer and closer to figuring all that out, I think that is huge. Plays a huge role in being happy.
And the evolution of that too. And it is always like, that's part of the process is that it is you're going to have highs and lows, but that's part of the evolution process. Yeah. And really being able to come back to that place of.
Because you're going to hit like very terrible things that happen. And like life can be just as horrifying as it could be elating, you know? So I feel like it prepares you also, you know, you just for as happy as you could be, you could allow yourself to be so sad too. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is allowing yourself to have those emotions and allowing yourself to like feel pain and allowing it to just run its course. I think that is a good way to like navigate through all the different things that you're going to have to go through, you know? Yeah. I think that's huge because we can't like not mention like.
You can't have joy and not have pain. I mean, they kind of are symbiotic. Like, I mean, I know that you've experienced grief in your life and I have too, but that's like, so this person used to bring me so much happiness. Just because they're not here and their memories kind of bring me sadness, it doesn't mean that there's still not joy within the connection that we shared. And that's like eternal, where the happiness is fleeting. The joy of the connection and the love is eternal. And that's part of the whole thing. That's the difference, I think, though, between joy and the happiness is that joy can kind of overcome all of that. Right. It can overcome the sadness. It trumps the happiness even. It trumps all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else can we talk about with joy? What are like some, what about your photography brings you the most joy?
I learned this recently even. I know I had mentioned it when I was sharing some pictures online. I always loved shooting and I always loved interacting with people. I've always loved being around people. So that part I knew I would love. Working with kids, like that's always fun. So all these things I kind of knew that I would love about it. But what I've learned is that brings me the most happiness is when I send these pictures. I get like so excited to like send these pictures, and like I'll like send them, and like it's like every second goes by, I'm like, oh my gosh, like did she like them? What if he eats them? Like what am I gonna do? Like how will like what will I do? And that moment of like getting their reaction and like them getting their pictures from like these like moments in their life that I was able to give to them, and like the comfort that it gives them, that I think is what I've learned I get the most excited about.
You gave them this experience, like you do the Mommy and Me shoot. You gave them this experience together, and then they have this like forever captured moment.
Yeah, it's
what
really
you said
cool
about that, it's beautiful. That's supposed to be awesome. What you said about that too is just like so raw and so vulnerable of that moment of like, oh my God, what if they didn't like them? That is, that's, I feel like that's how you always know when you're on like the path. Like when you have those panic moments of like, oh my God, what if they didn't like it? But that's like our ego kind of trying to separate us from that joy and
like
distract us.
It would be more of like, I like want to like, it's like hard to explain. Like, did I give these moments the visual they deserve? Yeah. You know, like it's kind of like heavy sometimes when I think about it. Like, did I capture this the way that it should have been captured, and like the way that they remember it? You know, like stuff like that. Like it
it's
feels
such a human thing.
Yeah.
To like have that like that moment of self-doubt, but then have the reassurance from the community and the people around you are just like, oh my God, when they look like an angel.
Yeah, when they're happy, that's what brings me the happiness. That is like the thing I keep trying to recreate. Yeah. You know, with my work. Like when I'm shooting, like I get so excited, like, oh, that was perfect. You know, like the lighting was perfect. The way you moved was perfect. That was such a cool moment. Like the way you guys just kind of interacted was perfect. And I get excited about all that stuff, but like nothing is like the delivery of everything after that. Yeah. That's what I keep trying to chase, you know? Like that's what I'm like, I almost want to keep getting better and better, and I'm so focused on learning and so much and like becoming the best kind of person that does this work that I possibly can be, is because I'm trying to make that moment better for people. Yeah. You know, like their time to relive that day. Yeah. That's what I'm after, is like perfecting that moment.
And you probably captured moments that they don't even see in that moment, which is even more beautiful. Yeah. Do you do weddings, right?
I do. Yeah. That's what I've been doing a lot of. This time of year will be
wedding season. Yeah.
I had 2 this month so far. So
that must be like one of those moments, like, oh my God.
It's a lot. Like, you know, you have your moments that you know, like, okay, first kiss, got it. You know, first dance, boom, that was a beautiful moment. But then there's these moments in between all those. Yeah. You know, like maybe your parents kind of whispering to each other or looking. Like I like to get this shot where the families kind of grouped at the end of the dance floor during their first dance, like looking on. Yeah. The things that you won't catch, like your mom kind of, you know, just like if someone's crying, I zoom in on them, and I like warn them too. I'm like, you better not cry if you don't want to be on camera.
Or I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. So like stuff like that, those moments that, I mean, they are, because like especially with stuff like that, like first dance, I don't want to be too involved. Yeah. So like to let them have it, get a couple nice shots of their dance, you know, them looking at each other, and then I'll take a step back, you know, and like let them have their time, and like I'll focus on the family because they won't see that stuff, you know.
Stuff like that. That's exactly what we're talking about here today too, is that like capturing that experience for that day is such like, it's a happy day, and but those moments are so like fleeting, but to be able to capture that like that joy in the corner of, you know, mom like and dad being like, oh my God, our little baby girl. Yeah. Like that's beautiful. That must be such a like thing for you to hold on to and carry with you. Yeah. And that's why sharing joy is so important. You're like sharing that moment.
And I try to like remind people too to like slow down and like enjoy their time together and like remember that this is their day, and to kind of take it all in, because I'm taking it all in because it's kind of like my job to like take in the whole atmosphere and like be very aware. Like I go into this like slow down mode where like you think you get like, you know, but I get into this like Zen, like, okay, like I get very, you know what I mean? I try to get them in that mode too, so that they can really like absorb the whole experience and like be in the moment. Because on a day like that, when there's so much going on and they're so stimulated by so many things, like there's so many people and like there's a lot happening, and I try to like get them to like remember to do that too, you know, so that they can really vividly go back to that moment whenever they want to,
and have it not just be that,
or have the picture inspire them to go back to those moments and like remember what it was like.
What they were doing in that moment. Or
like,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What else? I think we've done a really good job capturing the essence of joy here today. I feel like I want to get a little bit more personal though.
Yeah.
So like, what's something that Brittany Boote does just for Brittany Boote that you can go to every time and it's going to be like that joyful experience? It could be something we already talked about, but like.
This year for me was a little different. The previous years I used to have my time alone. Like I would love to like just go skateboard by myself or go hike by myself or even just like go have a soda and sit down with myself. Like, you know, sometimes a beer or like whatever. But this past year I didn't have time to really do those things. So like one of the things that I really enjoyed this year was just like video chatting with my little niece, you know, or like she'll call me, or like just going over to like visit like the kids and my other niece and nephew. Like that, I feel like that was my little time this year to like be happy and like just relax and like not stress and like that was kind of this year. That was my happy moments, you know. So
what do you think? Was it just like career and everything that was like pulling you sort of away from the private time?
Yeah, I don't like regret spending so much time building any of this, but I definitely lost a little bit of the balance of staying healthy and like exercising and, you know, doing all those active things that I like did so regularly. But I also lost the balance of like a little bit of a social life too, maybe, because that was like a major part of my life before. And then I just was solely focused on this. So there were things that I kind of always did to enjoy myself that I didn't do this year. But I learned new things.
That's what I was just going to say.
That I enjoyed.
I feel like your palette is changing. I feel like happiness and like balance are kind of the same thing. Neither of them are sustainable. It's just about being able to adjust accordingly as life changes, because life is always changing. So like, even like me as a mother, like this is an analogy I use a lot, is that like, oh, just when you get used to your kid, like, you know, just sleeping in your arms all day, then they start crawling, or just when you get used to that and have everything proof, then they're walking around, you know, there's no like, balance in that it's not a sustainable thing. It's something that we can, you know, try to achieve, but it's just ever evolving and ever changing. And that's what I feel like you, like, even for me, from going to be like a single person, like I'm really good at being single. I'm like really good at just being alone, and like I love it. But like adding another person in your life, your comfort zone, your balance is all thrown off. It's not the same. But it's not to say that you're not happy, or like you're not, you know, you just adjust and learn and grow and evolve together. But taking that time to find those moments that, you know, remind you of who you are, and stay true to who you are. I feel like that brings harmony rather than balance. Like this is something we talk about in the mentorship program that I'm a part of, that one of the girls it's like her quote, it's the like balance is not a sustainable thing. It's about trying for harmony. And these things and these people in our lives that bring us harmony are really beautiful. Like, I'm sure your conversations with your needs are just like, she's not even thinking about it really. I mean, she's just joyful that she's talking to cool Aunt Britt. And I think that that's what kind of brings us back into perspective. And that goes into your, like what you were saying with your wedding stuff too, is that you are that like anchoring moment and, you know, capturing things and reminding them to like
I like how you said, like, reminding people of who they are.
Yeah.
That is what I feel like that's another thing that, like, when you take portraits of somebody and it's like, look, this is you, like, and they get excited, and they feel like themselves. They don't feel like, reminding people of who they are. That's a big one. It's important.
Well, this is why we need editors. Who wants to be our editor to make these videos for us? I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, and I feel pretty complete with that. And I just want to say thank you for being a joyful person. It's so important to, like, maintain that and understand that, like, maintaining that is a continuous process. You're never really done. You're always growing and evolving and changing, and joy is sustainable through these moments that bring us happiness, through the people that bring us happiness, through the career paths that bring us happiness. You have any final closing thoughts?
No, not really. I feel like I've expressed so many thoughts. I just think what you're doing is really cool, and you're actually going out there in the world and, like, doing things to inspire other people, and I think that's really cool. So I'm really happy to be a part of.
Thank you.
Your live show.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the point, is just, kind of doing whatever I can to share a little bit of joy, no strings attached, no whatever involved.
No fine print.
Let's just have fun and spread the joy with people. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Hope you have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
That was so